Hola imbéciles, hola idiotas, hola tontos, hola tontonazos, hola estúpidos. Sí, estoy hablando español para este vlog. Casi nunca hablo español porque hace mucho tiempo que no hablo español y cuando quiero hablar español sale el japonés. Nah, don't worry guys, I'm not gonna keep it up. But yeah, I speak a little Spanish, but no falo português. But I got an email today, or yesterday, whatever, who cares, from some whippersnapper, Miguel from Solid Forger. And he's like, dude, I'm so upset with you. Because you said that, like, non-native English speakers can't become English teachers in Japan. Dude, that's not fair. Dude. I'm sure he doesn't speak like that, but... here's the thing, dude. I don't make the rules, okay? I don't make the rules. It's not my fault. But the point, if you want to get a teaching job here in Japan, even if you are incredibly well qualified, and even if you've studied English and have a whatever, you know, even if you're completely qualified and you have all these teaching degrees, etc., when you go to if the school wants to sponsor you, they have to take your application to the immigration, and the immigration has to okay it, and the immigration will probably not okay a visa from someone who's not from a native English-speaking country. Maybe if you're a grad student or you have a PhD or master's in English literature or teaching English, although you're from a from a non-English speaking country, then maybe you could get it, but it's not common. So sue me. It's not my fault, man. I don't make the rules. And so this guy's a little annoyed with me, apparently. Get the pasa. And he thinks I'm Colombian. I'm not Colombian, dude. I'm American. American number one! I'm American, and I'm not proud to be American. I'm happy. I'm lucky. America's giving me a lot of stuff. Man, can you imagine if I were still stuck in Peru? Who knows what I'd be doing? You know? Have you seen Peruvian women? Not that. Generally speaking, not the hottest in the world. All right? Okay. Personal opinion. I'm just not attracted to my own kind. I think that's pretty normal, right? The grass is always greener on the other side. I'm getting in trouble. My mom's gonna kick my butt for this. Okay, so he's studying and majoring in English. He wants to be a translator. Very well written email, by the way, which I will not post to hide your privacy and stuff. And I'll keep this short. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you guys. But yeah, you know, he says you say it should be much harder to become an English teacher, but you can become a language teacher. So if you are from another country and you would like to get over here and you do have skills teaching your particular language, you could do that. You know, you could find a job teaching. In fact, the German kid, the crazy German, crazy cyclist German kid, Mark, who's been on my channel a bunch of times, he had a few interviews lined up, and they actually said they were going to set him up with a class, but because of he basically wants to keep traveling, so it was impractical for him to stick around for it, but. He kind of got offered some jobs, and I think he actually went he taught some kid in a cafe, I think once or twice, I don't know, but it's kind of funny. So this is also interesting to me, just as a human being. Please excuse me for being a little stuck up on my own channel and talking about myself. He says, yeah. So let me explain my background real quick. Okay, I was born in Peru, right? Okay, and because my parents they Biology. I was born in Peru. But I grew up in the States. I spent like a year in Peru and then the rest of my life in the States. And y todavía hablo un poco de español. I still speak Spanish and I understand everything, but I would say I'm much more comfortable in the English language first. I guess Spanish would be second and then third Japanese. But I get by in all of those languages. And he says, this is what's interesting. He says, could you explain why? Despite your skill with English and you being an actual U.S. citizen, you don't have Caucasian traits. Do I not look Caucasian? Because it's funny on that racism video, people are like, you're white. You're just some white trash guy. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I look like. Whatever. I have a lot of mixed blood. I get German blood, Arabic blood, black blood, I'm sure. Whatever. Italian, my Italian name, Spanish. My grandfather lived in Spain. He's probably, grandma was Spanish. I got all this stuff. Who cares? I don't dwell on that crap. I'm Victor, and it doesn't matter. So. Anyway, he says I don't look Caucasian. So, do you guys think I look Caucasian? What do you think? No Caucasian traits at all. Have you seen like pure Peruvian Indians, man. They're like super broad-chested, short. I'm almost 6 feet tall, you know. So in Peru, I'm kind of a giant. But anyway, it's fun. But the thing is, Peruvians always know I'm Peruvian. They're like, you're Peruvian. We got that Peruvian radar, right? But has it hindered my ability to find a job in Japan? I don't think so. I worked at pretty good schools. I got a job almost right away, and I got another job offer. I had like 2 or 3 job offers after interviewing, cold calling. I just cold called a bunch of schools when I first got here. So I don't think so. You know, I've worked at a whole bunch of places, and yeah, I gotta say, I'm doing okay. I don't think so, but. I do, and even if you're black or Hispanic or any other minority, I don't think it really hinders. I think Indians have trouble because they talk like this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't think anybody has trouble if you're actually an English speaker. So they're used to the fact that we all look different, that Americans don't exactly look like American. I had one student whose brother married a white guy, and she's dating a Hispanic guy, and her sister married a white guy. And she herself was dating a Hispanic guy. And her sister's like, if you marry him, people are going to look down on you in the States. So it was funny, like she was kind of adopting. It was kind of sad, and she was pissed off about it. My student friend was sad. She's like, do you think that's true, Victor? I'm like, well, yeah, but racism exists in the States. But I think it's kind of sad that your sister is adopting racist values right from the start. Like, and advising you not to marry this guy because he's Hispanic, and you'll be, marrying into a lower class in the state in the States. That bullshit racism exists, but of course we all know that there are a lot of successful people from every race. So I don't worry about that too much. Anyway, he says it's a very important topic, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to exclude other countries from the picture. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't, but. If you want to come over here and teach Portuguese, I'm sure you if you look around enough, you will find a job. There's not a lot of demand for it because there's already a lot of Portuguese Brazilians here already working in the factories and stuff. Do you know any other American Caucasian teachers around there? Non-American. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are non-American, but they're British or Australian or from New Zealand. Do I know? There is one school in Sakai, in Nagoya, I know of, that allows you to. How do I explain this? They only hire non-natives, and they're really cheap. So I had one student who was going there, and she's like, "It's fun to go there because you learn all their funny accents, but their English is not great." I mean, I know people who teach English who are not exactly native, but they have the U.S. passport, and if you have the U.S. passport, you can get by. And usually Japanese can't even sense the slight accents you have, but I can. I'm pretty good at that. I take pride in being able to sense if someone's just a little off. And I know this one guy who makes mistakes all the time, but he's an English teacher at a high school, and he works for Interact. So there you go. Anyway, and then this guy thinks that I don't know what the word moron means, and I think he doesn't. Here's something else that you will never know or never be able to teach. And this actually happened in my school. I had a teacher here, very good teacher, excellent teacher actually, excellent English and excellent Spanish. But he grew up in Puerto Rico, so he had no English or American cultural education or we call it cultural literacy. He had no cultural literacy, and as a result, he could not teach higher classes of English that he couldn't teach like really difficult stuff like New York Times articles or the New Yorker, or he wouldn't catch allusions in films to literary works that most Americans are familiar with. Things, for example, even something simple like The Catcher in the Rye. He didn't know who The Catcher in the Rye was. Holden Caulfield. He didn't know who Holden was. So things like that, or American history, certain things in American history he didn't get. So even unless you are really culturally aware of how Americans are brought up, then you're going to have trouble teaching higher levels of English here. Though children, no problem, and actually Japanese can teach children too. So one of the most difficult things I find teaching here is Simpson scripts, because Simpson scripts are so culturally rich. that you really have to look. And they're simultaneously lowbrow and highbrow. So they're fascinating things to teach because they make everyone laugh, but at the same time, unless you're really on the ball, you're going to miss a lot of the cultural illusions and historical and artistic illusions that they have in the scripts. Yeah, so that's something that a non-native cannot bring to the classroom. But which is why I might not hire you, because I have higher standards. But there's a lot of schools that don't care and don't know, and you'll probably be fine. But again, you have to have the visa. Yeah, and anyway, he thinks I don't know what the word moron means, and he's kind of offended by it. Dude, it's a joke, okay? It's a joke. Idiota, tonto, right? Tontonazo. You know, it's just and I know what it means, and I've actually put links. He sent me a link to explaining moron actually means someone who with an IQ between 51 and 70 and is a step up from imbecile and 2 steps up from idiot, which is why I chose the word moron. You, my children, you are the highest level of estúpido out there. And I'm proud to call you my morons. All right, Moron Army, that's all for today. Thanks for watching again. And Miguel, good luck in your quest to get to Japan. And I would say first come as another kind of teacher. And then if you can, then prove to people that you're actually good enough to teach English, and you'll get those jobs. But to get the initial passport, visa, working visa, you're either going to have to knock up a Japanese girl or get in another way. So, see you later.
Give me a break, man, give him a break, because he sure deserves one.